Patrick from Sasquatch in the Wild. So I'm going to try to get through these pictures quicker than before because I was not getting as many as I wanted to get done. So this is, of course, were the footprints that were on the other side of that big giant root ball. So let's get through these pictures because I am going to try to stuff a video at the end of this, and it may take me close to the 30-minute mark on the videos. So I'm just going to randomly go through these pictures, and I may not talk as much as I normally do about them, but this is one of those ones that you just kind of look at and go, what the hell's going on here? And that's pretty much what I was saying. Nobody would just stack wood like this. It's just bizarre. But this is basically what Bigfoot does when they're communicating something to another Sasquatch. And this is roughly the trailhead that we were coming down. This is Mike, and he is looking at a couple of trees, and they were jammed in between these two trees, these two live trees here. And believe it or not, this is an X. I still don't believe that it means keep out, but I think this is for other things other than us. And we did press on because we're human. No, his head is not split. I was doing a long shot, and when I got to here, the camera jostled funny. It looks like his head split in half. That is not the case. You can see how tight these trees were shoved in there. From the top one, you can see the damage on the trunk of the one tree. And if you look down here, you can see how smashed that other one is. And I do believe that they just shoved that tree in there as tight as they could possibly get, because it does extend out on the other side just a little bit. We're not sure what actually created that, but we found that in a couple spots. This log, for whatever reason, was way up inside of a tree, and I spotted it as we walked by, and why it's there makes no sense. We did go into these boulders. We started to climb around. There was running water down inside there. And why that one stick was down inside that series of boulders was kind of bizarre. Now that could have been left by a person, but at the same time, that was kind of inspiring that maybe we found something that we weren't supposed to see. If you look close, there is more feces right here, which is kind of strange, unless it's an animal that did it, or maybe a Sasquatch did it. Another big tree break. I always find certain tree breaks interesting. This one snapped and it's bent all the way around that direction. This was a seriously big tree that had broken off. Even though this is the high point, the tree should have been on this side of the break, but it twisted for whatever reason and it fell behind the highest point of that break. I would have thought at least part of it would have still been attached to somewhere on this trunk, or on the stump, but I didn't see anything like that. This is kind of like what an Indian marker looks like. Why my camera's aiming so low? Still can't see all the stuff that's going on above. Kind of strange. I don't understand. Two tree breaks in a row. Man-made teepee structure. Another man-made teepee structure found in the area. It's never promising to find a teepee structure next to a fire ring, so you always got to keep vigilant on that. Not all teepee structures are built by Sasquatch. This is really what you find when people are building them. You sometimes you'll find string. I think there's string up in here, but there's other things in here, like if you look inside, there's like shelves. There's supports for shelves. Sometimes you find screws and nails, and you see these cross braces that are going through. That's not like a well designed out plan here, but there's things that are going in here that don't add up. And the biggest thing is this rope that's right here. There's a rope wrapping around it, tying it off. And Sasquatch, typically they might play with the string. They don't typically build with string. In fact, I don't think they ever build with string. This is a series of like a light set of leaners. I don't think you'd sleep underneath this. I do believe that's a footprint. This is the heel. The toes are up in here, and they go down at an angle. Yeah, footprint. Usually when you see my foot next to it, it's usually a footprint. There is a video that's attached to this spot, and I'll put it in this location. And you're going to hear a series of knocks, and you may have to put your headphones close to your ears, because I don't know. I'm going to try to ramp up the sound on this video. And you're going to hear, Mike said that he heard crows. I was pretty sure I was hearing whoops. But crows can mimic sounds in the woods, including human voices, whoops, and other things. An unusual tree that's shaped funny. I thought this was pretty much kind of like an Indian marker. Layering of 3 logs. Usually when you find logs that are where you have like 2 talls and a short, that's usually, Mike thinks that has something to do with family base, like a father, mother, and a child. And I think there's something to that too. This is a cluster of all kinds of things. I just like things like this because it's very odd and unusual. Fresh water. You have an arch, and then you have a tree that's busted over the arch. And that's pretty darn strange. That's something you don't normally see in the woods. I do believe that's a small footprint. Series of 2 tree breaks. Now this tree easily could have just fallen. Although it looks pretty healthy still because you can see all the pine needles still. But that one fell and hit this tree. And sometimes that happens in the woods. I don't know what I was interested in that, but there's something intriguing about that. Another giant root ball from a giant tree that fell. A lot of the pine trees don't have deep root structure. This is the main body of the main root, but this is all the size that's where now the roots are, extending out away from the tree. And of course, that's Mike. Sometimes they punch out holes so you can see through. Just like over here, there's a hole that's been punched out. Let me see if you can see that. I don't know if, oh yeah, okay. So right here is a hole that's been punched out. And this also looks like this is a hole that was punched out. So they could peek through and see who's coming down the trail if they feel like they're being followed. This thing here was kind of strange because this actually, I went over and looked inside it, and it was like a perfect spot to go camping or sleeping inside. I don't know if I'd do it because there's enough animals in the area that might visit you in the process while you're doing it. So you can see the hole. Another footprint. Another footprint. Something had dug out an area, so fresh water from the spring was draining out through, so it gave them free access to water. This screams out a possible Sasquatch spot, except for this thing right here. This was metal, and there was a couple pieces of that next to it. So I kind of started thinking this maybe was man-made structure for somebody to hide in or sleep in. There were structures on the facing hillside that I thought were interesting. Wood was being stacked. There's an X behind this tree. But there was all kinds of wood being stacked up, and I started to think that there must have been something over here that we missed out on. We didn't even go over and explore this area. But you can see that there's other odd structures going all the way back, that there's something, like this is a trail of some sort that screams out, we should have investigated this, but we went a different direction. This is on the way back up to our campsite. More tree breaks on the side. Now, could this have happened because of a vehicle? Sure. But I don't think so, because this tree was split, and part of the split went back in between these two aspens. Leaners. A crazy structure. Someone shooting at cans. Probably that guy. Hey everybody, so this is a side note. And there was another video that I put on the back end of this video. And after I got done listening to it and adding all my stuff to it, it came out to being 53 minutes long. 53 minutes. I was like, what the hell? That'll never fly. So I had to cut it. And so the next video, which will be on Wednesday, I'll put it out right away. But it'll be it'll be standing waiting to go. That video will be of Mike and I talking, and we're talking in the dark because we're listening to everything that's going on, and we have a individual that's circling our tent, and there's some things that happened to me, something Mike is experiencing. We both hear. There's a lot of things that's happening during that video. You can't see anything. It's pitch black. My camera is running in the background. My audio stuff is running in the background. And so it's recording pitch blackness. So you can't see nothing. All you can do is hear the wind blowing around and things happening around. So that video will be strictly in the dark. And I'm going to try to pair another part of that video because I ran video for a few hours. And by the time it was done, I have I think it's 2 or 3 dark videos where it's just pitch blackness. But the end one, I'm coming out of the tent and you see the car in the background as I come walking out. But yeah, there was a lot of experiences that happened that'll be happening in the next video. But you'll be putting on your headset, you'll be turning up your speakers or whatever to hear what's really going on. And the last video, which probably will be next Sunday, if I can't squeeze that other video onto it, I might just cut it. But the last video, you're going to see other evidence that I catch on my car. Something gives me another present, and it's weird. But it is very intriguing too at the same time. So again, my name is Patrick. This is Sasquatch in the Wild, and I hope you're enjoying this journey. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.